I get it. You guys wanted a video on Les Paul neck angles. Hey everybody, this is Matt. We're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. So today, I thought I would give you guys what you've been asking for, and that is a video on the Les Paul neck angle. I can't do this. Hold it. How the Les Paul neck angle works and how to mount the neck in a Les Paul, and how it might be a little different from what you guys are used to if you've built, say, Strats or Tellys or even set neck guitars using the neck style that I've been using for a long time and shown you guys all about. I'm going to be showing you today how to get the angles on the Les Paul. I'm going to talk a little bit about the angles on the Les Paul, and I'm going to try to convince you guys to come out to one of my Build a Classic Les Paul workshops. As at the time of this video, there are spots open in December 2023. You can come out and build a Les Paul. It's our first 7-day class. It's all inclusive except for pickups. Link in the description below. You guys can check that out. If you want to come out and build your own Les Paul, that's a great way to do it. If you want to go ahead and do this at home, hopefully this video will have some good stuff for you. But know this going in, I'm going to be using my pin router to do this, and I'm going to be using some tools you may or may not have. So if you get anything out of this video, I'm hoping that it is some ideas, get your brain spinning a little bit, and some ideas on how you can do this with just a router and a router sled. Don't worry, there's ways to do it without a pin router, but let's walk through the theory, let's walk through the angles, and just kind of get everything going here. And we got a lot of ground to cover today, so let's jump right in. And so this one's done, and I'm going to show you on the left-handed one that we're doing for Caesar from Los Lobos, and because it's time to get it. So we've got to do the neck angle, pickup angle, and neck pocket before we do any carving. Because as you can see, this one isn't yet carved. You could probably carve it first, but we're not gonna. Okay, anyway, so enough of the bullshit talk. Let's jump right in and let's start deep diving into some Les Paul neck angle specifics and theories. Okay, gang, the first thing that you need to understand about a Les Paul is that in addition to the carve that is on the body, it also has 3 very separate angles. One is the neck angle, one is the pickup plane, and the other is this flat spot right here that is left over. And that's your bridge kind of goes, bridge and stop tail go around that flat spot, which by the way will be carved and smoothed when we are in the carving and smoothing portion. So in order to locate the angles, you're going to need to have some way to measure them. You're going to need to have your Les Paul, and you're going to need to have some way to cut the angles, which we're going to show you. So this is just a little angle finder here. I'm going to zero it out. And I've got my Les Paul body on a piece of machined metal. It's the surface for my pin router. So we're going to zero this guy out. I said we're going to zero it out. Okay, so we're at 0. And now I'm going to show you where I am for my neck angle. Your neck angle needs to be somewhere near 4 degrees. This is 3.8. So I think we're really close. I've already measured it. I know we're okay. So the neck angle goes from the end of the body here to right before the pickup, because it needs to be everything that is, because, I don't know if you can see this, but you can see the bottom of my neck pocket is the same angle as right up here. This angle finder's jumping all over the place. So this angle here on the top and the angle for the neck to ride in are at the same angle, okay? And the reason that is because the neck on a Les Paul is flat on the bottom, okay? And the fretboard actually overhangs the mortise side. So what happens, let me see if I can get this in the picture. So this all has to line up like that, okay? So you want the neck to be in the same angle as the top of the body. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I'm going to show you guys how we do it here in a little bit, and it'll make more sense. All right, now the next angle that we got to worry about is the pickup angle, which is a little less than the neck angle. So some people on forums call this the pickup plane. I think that's a great thing to call it. So you want to shoot for about 4 degrees here and maybe a little bit less than 2 degrees here. And that just kind of makes everything look a little more mellow. You don't need to have a crazy jacked up angle for because then your pickups are going to look kind of wonky. Okay, so shoot for whatever you get, but about 4 degrees here, maybe a little less than half for the pickup plane. Okay, and so the pickup plane will go from the front edge of the neck pickup almost all the way back to the scale line, or maybe even back to the stop tail line. So you can see here on Steve's, he went ahead and did a pickup plane for me, and it goes to right here, which is just rear of the bridge. Okay, so all right, so let me change everything up a little bit, and we'll show you what we're working with. All right, so here's Caesar's guitar, and remember this top came from Steve as well. You can see that there is a slightly steeper angle here, right around 3.8, and if we go to right around here, we're right around 1.3. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to clean this up, and we're gonna mark where the end of the fretboard is, and we're going to go to 3.8 to there, and then we're going to change the angle, and we're going to go 1.3 from the end of the neck, the fretboard, to right just behind the bridge. You can see it's got this flat spot here. So yeah, if you guys get a top from Steve, whether you get this one and then carve it down later, or you get a pre-carved one, you're going to have to do something like this. Okay, his pre-carved ones are all the way carved, and you need to establish a flat spot. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do on this, I think, is we're going to rough in the neck pocket. And the reason we're going to rough in the neck pocket is because I'm going to use the off-body alignment pins to show me where to go. I'm going to go down about 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to chase that to depth with a bearing bit. The reason that I'm going to do that is because I won't be able to use my off-body alignment pins on my sign plate, which is a thing that holds the body at an angle here. If I do this and I get it wrong, then my neck pocket's going to be a little bit wonky. So I could probably attempt to figure out how to do that with a sign plate that had off-body alignment pins on it, but that's way too much brain damage for me. I don't make a whole bunch of carved tops, so it's not that big of a deal. When I do my Challenger carved tops, the neck pocket is kind of the same as it is on my other guitars, so I don't have to go through this rigmarole. But you get what I'm driving at. So first thing we're going to do is rough in the neck pocket. Then we're going to put this on a sled that's going to hold the body at this angle, and we're going to cut the neck pocket at an angle. And then we're going to use, while everything's still on the same sled, we're going to cut our neck pocket angle for the top of the body. Then we'll lower the angle and we'll cut our pickup plane, and then I'll show you a little bit more about neck stuff, but that should be a pretty good video for today. So let's get the templates going, and we'll jump right in. All right, gang, I've got my template attached to my body. There's my body, here's my template. We're going to be starting with the classic Gibson mortise cutout. And the reason that we are using this mortise cutout is, I don't know if you can see here, but we want to have binding actually go all the way and go through this this portion here of the cutaway. We want to have binding go all the way up there. So if we used that kind of wedge fitment that the other template has all the way around, we would lose our binding here, which is not a big deal, but we're building a Les Paul, and Les Pauls have binding up through there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out the mortise, and we're going to do that flat, and we're going to use our pin on our pin router, because that's just the way it goes. And we're going to set this. We're going to reposition our body on a sign plate and then cut the rest of the angles later on. But the first thing we're going to do is just get it close. We're going to rough it in with it flat, okay? Okay, we've got our roughed out neck pocket, and it's a little bit undersized because I use my oversized pin, which is 20 thousandths over a half inch. And we're going to chase that later with the correct size pin. But I want to go back to something. Remember when I told you that we had to have this part of the guitar body intact so that our binding would have a place to go? Well, there's nothing that says that this side has to be a mortise and tin on as well. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to attach our other template to the bottom, and we're just going to rough out this side with the wedge fit template part. And we're going to make sure that we do our neck like that as well. The reason that I do that is so that I only have to fit this side later. That's the way I do Les Pauls. You can do yours however you want, but I'm going to go ahead and make this, I'm going to go with a deep set neck 10 on that's actually a little wider and a little easier to work. And I think that's the way that all guitars that are Les Pauls should have their neck joints. But again, your mileage may vary, says me. All right, let me show you how to do that. So I took a pretty big cut on that first one, but because I had my depth set on my pin router, I wanted to make sure that I had the bottom of the neck exactly the same depth. I don't know why I did that actually, but yeah, that was probably too big of a pass. All right, now the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to do our angle for the neck. We're going to put the neck angle on the top of the guitar and inside the neck pocket. And we're going to switch some tools up a little bit to do that. And like I was telling you, because we're actually going to be angling the whole body like this. Okay? So we're going to put some new tools in the pin router, and we're going to get our sine plate out, and we'll walk you guys through how that works. Okay, I've got my body is attached to my sine plate, which is an adjustable one that I made. I'm going to show you that here in a second. I changed out the bits on my pin router to a top bearing that's going to ride around the neck pocket that we just cut, but it's going to put it in deeper, and it's going to put it in at an angle. Let me show you what that looks like. All right, you guys can see that what I have built here is just a plywood contraption, and it's got hinges on this side, and it's got some adjustable bolts on this side, as well as some hold downs from a company that I don't go to anymore. But so what's going to happen is my bearing bit is actually going to ride on my neck pocket that I've already made. Kind of created my own template here with the neck pocket, and it's going to cut the bottom of the neck pocket at the same angle that it's being held at. And then I'm also going to come by and take these steps out of the body. And impart my 3.8, it's 3.8 degrees, or you know, you guys can use 4 or 3.8 or whatever you want to do. So anyway, let me show you what that looks like now. One thing I want to make sure I do is I want to make sure I have my pin router set so that if I accidentally step on the foot switch, I don't go ramming through deeper than I want to, which is something that I kind of have done sometimes, where I get so used to stepping on the foot switch when I'm done with the procedure I'm doing, I have to lock it in here so I don't forget. Okay. All right, so not only is it going to impart the angle on the bottom, it's also going to change the angle on this back portion here. That's probably where you heard it when I got to my bearing to back here. It's actually digging in a little bit of an angle here. So we're flat all the way down from the front edge of the guitar back to underneath where the neck pickup is going to go. So technically we're done, but we need to keep going so that we have the right amount of meat showing here, which is about 3/8 of an inch, and we're at about a half now. So we need to come down 1/8 or so until this part here, this patch right here, looks correct. All right, the last thing that we're going to do is our neck pocket angle for the top of the guitar as well as the pickup plane. And to do that, I put a great big bit in my pin router. This is a 3/4 inch diameter bit, because all we're really going to do is get rid of these facets here and impart our 4-degree neck angle and our 1.5-degree pickup plane. Okay, so same idea as the other ones. For the purposes of this video, we're just going to go to, we're going to have our bit come right to the edge of our neck pocket, and we're going to come straight off and back that way. And then we'll do the, basically we'll go from here to just behind our bridge and put in our pickup plane. We won't have to change the sign plate because it's already set. All right, so this is all done now. Our neck plane is done. It matches perfectly the bottom angle of the neck here. So when we put our neck in, it's going to be, our neck can be, it doesn't have to be at an angle or anything, it can just be flat. And when we do the neck, we're actually going to have to make sure that it is as flat as the top of this, because our fretboard is actually going to overhang. Well, it's going to overhang on this side. Won't overhang on this side because this is the same width as the neck. But now we need to put our pickup plane in, which, as you'll recall, is 1 1.5, 1 1/3 degree angle, and we're going to adjust. These little screws here. We're going to just come down with these guys, and we'll measure. I like to come all the way down, on the off chance that it's what I want. So let's see, I'm going to use my angle finder again. Zero it out. As you can see, I'm right at 2.0, so that's just about perfect. So I'm just going to leave it where we are, and it's nice because I can just go, I just went all the way down on my, my little feet here. So I'm going to go from the end of the neck pocket to just behind the bridge, and I'm not going to worry about these steps in here because that's going to be done. These are going to be removed as part of the carving process. So I'm going to do my pickup plane next, and then we'll be done. So there you guys go, the Les Paul neck pocket and the Les Paul neck pocket angle and pickup plane. So that is how I do it, and that is how you guys could do it too if you came out to my Build a Classic Les Paul or Build a Classic Carve Top workshop, whichever one you signed up for. You can do this stuff. Now, if you don't have a pin router at your house, there's a couple ways that you can do this, and they all involve a similar sign plate and a router sled. But that is something that you're gonna have to figure out for yourself or buy a pin router. So anyway, guys, if you have any other questions about what we did in this video, please leave them in the comment section below. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button, please do so. It's absolutely free, and it lets YouTube know that we are still alive and lets you guys see all the cool stuff that we do here. Give me the thumbs up and like and all that shit too. If you appreciate content like this, you might want to go over to our Patreon page and consider becoming a member. I've got exclusive content over there. Working on a lot of neck through stuff right now that's going on to Patreon and going on Patreon only. I don't know if I will ever put it on our regular channel, the B channel. So anyway, yeah, guys, thanks for watching and have a great week. This is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what I did. We'll see you next time, and we'll do more on this one then. Take care, everybody.